Bali, the demon king, has asked his father Vasishta for spiritual guidance. Bali asked, "Father, by what effective means can that powerful minister be conquered?" And the powerful minister is the process of conceptualization by which we form notions of objects. It's the cognitive process. And we need to bypass that. We need to stop getting caught up in that in order to realize the nature of our awareness, which is our essential nature. Vasishta replied, "Though this minister is almost invincible, my son, I shall tell you how to conquer him. He is overcome in a moment if one grasps him by means of intelligent action. In the absence of such intelligent action, he burns everything like a venomous snake." So this is it. He's overcome in a moment. He can be overcome in a moment. There is no path to this. There is no preparation needed. Just some intelligent action. One who approaches him intelligently plays with him as one plays with a child and playfully subdues him. Such a one beholds the king and is established in the supreme state. So it's saying to take a childlike, playful attitude to this. Previously we've had descriptions of the wise man grinding his teeth to do this. The grinding of teeth actually comes afterwards. It's like playing a game of tig or tag with a child. You do a little feint this way and a little feint that way, and then you skip past. And where you're skipping past to, you're skipping past to your own awareness. It's about the attention directing itself on itself. And that might sound simple enough, or it might sound very complicated. It's something you either do or you don't. And you don't get caught up in ideas of doing it. You don't think, well, how can I do this? You can point directly to it actually if you follow the direction of your finger. That's one of the techniques described by Douglas Harding. And if you want to do a search on headlessness, you'll find some videos on YouTube which describe some of these experiments you can do. So that's all it takes, a little bit of intelligent action and a childlike and playful approach. And then you touch the supreme state. For once the king is seen, the minister comes completely under one's control. And when the minister is under one's control, the king is seen clearly. And we've got to be careful about the use of the word seen here. The king is not seen as an object of perception. It's seen in the sense of realization. Everything comes into focus at this point. So we could say this, it's seen in the sense that things come into focus. Until the king is seen, the minister is not really conquered. And until the minister is conquered, the king is not seen. This use of the word conquered as well, we have to be careful about that. It's not that we get rid of it, that we suppress it. It's best to think in terms of bypassing it. It's conquered in the sense that we're no longer under its sway. So it's not so much that the minister's being conquered, it's more that we are no longer in his thrall. When the king is not seen, the minister plays havoc and spreads sorrow. When the minister is not conquered, the king remains unseen. Therefore, one's intelligent practice has to be simultaneously twofold: to behold the king and to subdue the minister. Once you've beheld the king, The minister hasn't been conquered. He still has cards to play, and he can still capture you back into his thrall. The only thing you can do about this is to keep resorting to the king. That's really the only thing. And this is self-enquiry. Other practices like meditation and pranayama and whatever won't do it. It's only by recourse to the king. By intense self-effort and by steady practice you can gain both these, and then you will enter that region and never again experience sorrow. That is the region inhabited by holy men who are forever established in peace. So this is it. Self-effort and steady practice. You make the effort and you keep on making the effort. You make the effort to turn to the king. And you turn to the king. It's not a question of failing to do so, you do it. And you keep on doing it. This is yoga. This is spiritual practice. My son, I shall now make all this explicit to you. The region I have referred to is the state of liberation, which is the end of all sorrow. The king there is the self who transcends all other realms and states of consciousness. The minister is the mind. It is the mind that has made all this world like pot from clay. When the mind is conquered, everything is conquered. Remember that the mind is almost invincible, except through intelligent practice. So this intelligent practice is self-enquiry, as it's been described. Self-enquiry means attending to your own awareness. This is something you cannot cultivate. It either happens or it doesn't. You'd either stumble upon your own awareness or you don't. But once you have done, this is the king. And this is the awareness that you attend to as often as possible. This is where the effort comes in. The effort isn't in finding the king in the first place. The effort is in maintaining your awareness of the king. So this is intelligent practice. And we'll get more about this now. Bali asked, Father, kindly tell me what intelligent practice will enable me to conquer the mind. Varochana replied, The very best intelligent means by which the mind can be subdued is complete freedom from desire, hope or expectation in regard to all objects at all times. It is by this means that this powerful elephant, the mind, can be subdued. This means is both very easy and extremely difficult, my son. It is very difficult for one who does not engage himself in serious practice, but very easy for one who is earnest in his effort. In other words, you either do it or you don't. There is no harvest without sowing. The mind is not subdued without persistent practice. Hence, take up this practice of renunciation. Until one turns away from sense pleasure here, one will continue to roam in this world of sorrow. Even a strong man will not reach his destination if he does not move towards it. No one can reach the state of total dispassion without persistent practice. So this self-effort and steady practice, it thins out the cravings, it thins out our desires and our hopes and expectations in regard to finding fulfillment in objects. So there's a two-pronged attack. There's a two-pronged approach here. Being aware of the king and being aware of our desires and our habitual tendencies to get caught up in them. And once we've realised these tendencies, coming back to the king as often as possible, we develop more and more dispassion.